to welcome all of you on behalf of HT Media presents Bharat Nirman Conclave and Awards 2025. Welcome all of you on behalf of HT Media presents Bharat Nirman Conclave and Awards 2025. This brings me to introduce our very first panel. Topic है इसका विकसित भारत at 2047 the MSME blueprint. तो इसमें discussions क्या होंगी? Well, what are the challenges that come to mind? We want to scale up our MSMEs, but is it technology that poses a challenge? Is it skill? Is it global competition? Well, we are going to deep dive into this. And to anchor this panel, I'd like to call on stage a dear friend and someone who we all fondly call the OG RJ, RJ Sarthak. A huge round of applause for him. Sarthak is known to marry wit with in-depth conversation, and we're really looking forward to your moderation today, Sarthak. The panelists, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Ajay Jain. Mr. Jain has been a board member at IIM Calcutta and a frequent academic and industry voice, recognized for his enterprise in strategy with over 40 years of experience across entrepreneurship and corporate leadership. Welcome to the Bharat Nirman Conclave, sir. Can we please have on stage Mr. Sameer Sathe, founder of Sam Space, a leader with deep expertise in MSMEs, expertise growth and policy alignment. He brings a unique perspective on how innovation, capital, and capacity building can together shape sustainable progress. And finally, the gentlemen are all standing because I'd like to call on stage Professor Sapna Ratan Shah from the JNU School of Computational and Integrative Sciences, an internationally recognized researcher in biomechanics and biomathematics. Two words which are so heavy, ma'am. Hats off to you to be an expert in that with over 2 decades of pioneering contributions. We're looking forward to the discussion. It's over to you.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Viksit Bharat 2047, the MSME Blueprint. We, of course, have an esteemed panel, so it'd be lovely if we could welcome them with a warm round of applause. Respect is lovely, is it not? Beginning with, that one word that is becoming increasingly important in these days, when just today President Donald Trump of America has said that climate change is a hoax and sustainable energy is a waste of money. For the MSMEs to actually struggle against a global scenario like that, what would be the key challenges? Mr. Jain, let's start with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure being here. You know, climate change is actually a much abused word. It is something which is not only required, it is essential for survival of humans as we know. So what Donald Trump says may be driven by economics, may be driven by his own personality, I don't know. But climate change is something which has happened over the last 100 years. When we see greenhouse effect, when we see flooding, I mean, yesterday Calcutta was flooded. It had more rain in one day than it has had in 1 month. Similarly, we have seen in Gurgaon, Dehradun, for instance, Sahastradhara was completely flooded. These are all effects of climate change. You see rain coming when it should not. You see droughts coming when it should not. You see areas which were never drought-prone have suddenly become drought-prone. Food grains have stopped. I mean, if you take the, say for Punjab, for instance, 87 to 88% of all wells are dry. And about 79% are beyond redemption. So climate change and focusing on climate is here to stay. I am glad to say I have already announced that in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, we have announced a 50 crore fund for actually incubating startups in the climate tech business space, because we think that's the space to be in.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But do you think climate change is a challenge that MSMEs will have to face as we approach Viksit Bharat 2047?
Climate change will be actually driven by the MSMEs, not by the large corporates. Large corporates will be driven by their profits. But when I see IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, I see so many small enterprises, small scale enterprises, ideas coming up, which will deal with climate, and if all of them are put together, it will have a huge, huge effect on climate change. I mean, many of these startups are from Northeast. Most of you would be surprised to know that Cherrapunji, which is, the place where you have the heaviest rain in the world, okay, number 2 now, Cherrapunji does not have drinking water. And there are multiple villages there which are drowned in water but still don't have drinking water. So in fact, one of the startups which we have recently incubated has actually developed an equipment which will turn flood waters into drinkable water. So that equipment is being used by NDRF and others now, because a lot of areas where flooding happens, the basic essential requirement is water, and people don't get access to drinking water. So these are the type of people who are coming up now.
Absolutely. Small is beautiful. And what a wonderful example. Mr. Sathe, you've been sort of shaking your head about this. You've also had access to staring into that crystal ball a little better than all of us as far as the future is concerned. What, according to you, are the key challenges?
Can you hear me? Yeah. So thanks, first of all. It's a pleasure to be here. So in my view, there are 3 top challenges, and in the capacity of helping the MSMEs as a coach and as a consultant for the last 30 years, I've recognized that there are 3 top challenges. The first one really is their mindset, very important. When it comes to building scalable value, it's very important to really embody and live on a daily basis the entrepreneurial mindset. And unfortunately, a lot of the entrepreneurs do not have it. You'll be surprised when I'm saying this, but that's the truth. The simple reason being that entrepreneurs not only spot the opportunity, but they also pivot, adapt to be able to be healthy and live longer in simple terms. But if you look at the current status of where MSMEs are, over 83% of them are having wafer-thin margins or in the loss pool. So we are essentially looking at ill patients being carried in hospitals for so long. What will happen to hospitals? Imagine. This is exactly the state of MSME. So first is entrepreneurial mindset always looks at scalable value creation. And when it comes to scalable value, you have to look at the economics of growth, which is not happening today. So that's the first. Second is really this upskilling themselves. We are talking about AI. We are talking about digital technologies. We are talking about making sure that the change management happens. It's incredibly important for entrepreneurs to focus on not only spotting an opportunity, but to upskill themselves in these kinds of things, because if they don't do it, the lost value, according to some estimates, and we have done some estimates internally as well, is close to $2.7 trillion by 2028, which is a massive globally, imagine. And most of the businesses globally, whether it's the US or India, there is a lot of contribution by small and medium-sized enterprises. So we have to pay attention. So that's the second one, upskilling. The third, very critical challenge is really making sure that when we are dealing with different stages of growth, entrepreneurs must recognize that they don't know what they don't know. They have to complement themselves with the other skill sets that the other people may have. And I don't find that. And unfortunately, if you don't do that, there is a greater chance that you will not succeed over a longer period of time. So I think these 3 challenges are super critical in my view. We, of course, talk about the financial inclusion, and there's a lot of other issues, but the root causes really lie here.
Of course. What a quotable quote. They don't know what they don't know. What I don't know is mathematics. I left it when I was in the 10th, and now we have Professor Shah from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, my alma mater, so it's doubly wonderful to welcome you to the panel, ma'am. But as someone who deals with numbers, and as numbers are one of the most critical things as far as the MSME sector is concerned, shoehorning them into the rectangle of an Excel sheet seems to be ever more important. What are your views on the challenges that the MSMEs face?
Hello, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sarthak, for asking this question.
I'll take that. I have a louder voice.
Yeah, so I believe
You'll have to hold it a little
yeah.
closer.
Thank you, Sarthak, for asking this question. I believe for MSME, we are looking for the technologies, and every day we are seeing the advancement in the technology. They are very important, like AI, or energy solution, and clustering. Everything are very essential for the MSME. So we are talking about the numbers, but exactly numbers are not in the sense of that. They are related to that. But the MSME has to grow in sense of skilled technology, like the workforce should be skilled, because of without technology, the skill will not be worth it. So the MSME has to grow in the sense to use more and more low cost effective sense, and the available materials.
If you could just hold the mic a little closer, we'll be able to appreciate the voice a little better.
So the low cost effective in manner, and then the availability of the material, and then other things, these are the real matters or the factor for the MSME growth. So this is true that we are looking for the more and more growth for the MSME. Without the skill technology, and it would not be possible for the targeted growth. Yeah.
There speaks an academician. And yes, please, sir.
If I may just add to what ma'am just said. You know, when we incubate startups in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, one of the advantages we have is that we have the entire IIM Calcutta faculty with us. So we actually give them a 3-month crash course into what we teach in MBA. And the most important part is numbers. Because entrepreneurs come with ideas, they come with thoughts. All of them think, maybe they know that they have the best thought in the world. That's why they're entrepreneurs. But they need numbers, they need financial statements, they need to know how to read these financial statements. Because today, compliances are essential. Without compliances, you cannot survive. For doing compliances, I know you can hire a chartered accountant or a legal person, but you still need to know your numbers. So numbers increasingly are becoming an extremely important and integral part of the journey of any entrepreneur.
They're also very seductive, are they not, Mr. Jain, Mr. Satin, Professor Shah? I mean, today we are assaulted by information, and unfortunately there isn't maybe enough respect or maybe enough time to understand that information is the thread with which the fabric of knowledge is woven. All three of you are bound, so to speak, by an academic thread. All three of you teach. Is enough being talked about failure and learning from it? Are we being taught how to deal with failure? Because the rate is very high, is it not, Mr. Sate?
No, true. And just to sort of share with everybody in the capacity of coaching so many founders and so many investors who are looking at both sides of the coin and both sides of the table, it's incredible that when we receive requests from founders to raise 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, and when we look at their formula and their worksheets, it's all about numbers. But when you ask them and grill them as to tell me what's the narrative behind these numbers, most of the assumptions are untrue, right? And they want to raise overnight 10 million, 15 million, 20 million. So numbers are super important. The story behind numbers is much more important. That will drive the numbers. But to tell you this truth, I receive a lot of riffraff, right? Now, when you think about the failure rate, therefore, it's not a surprise that if you look at the birth rate and death rate of startups, and Mr. Jain, you know this, is that it's how many startups reach year 5, year 7, year 9? 95% of the starters don't even see that. Now, imagine the amount of risk capital that is lost because you're not able to sustain it going forward.
It'd be wonderful if you could also explain to us these levels for us landlubbers who are completely at sea with how funding happens or how MSMEs happen.
Sure. I mean, in the interest of time, it's a deep subject, but very quickly to summarize, any founder typically wants to look at raising money. It starts with his or her own capital, friends and families. Then it goes to what we call angel round, seed round, price seed round. Then there are series A, B, C, D, etc. And it goes to mature stages or the growth stage startups and or the SMEs, as we call it. So these are the typical funding stages, and these are the typical cycles. There are a lot of companies that do not raise capital from any external investor. They keep on doing it on their own. They plow back their profits, and that's enough for them not to raise money from external sources. And that's a typical cycle. But I think the moral of the story is that investors are in the rush to raise money from outside without looking into making sure how to sweat that money that they have already put themselves in the first place, right? There is no wonder, therefore, across these stages that what we call in our technical jargon, which is internal rate of return, which is where your net present value is zero. You would know this. That is incredibly low, by the way, right? So in spite of tremendous capital that has gone in, investors have not realized those returns pre-COVID, post-COVID, and today, which is why every investor is now looking at making sure that their money is returned very fast, whether you take limited partners or general partners, or whether you take, when they start looking at economics or path to profitability, they are now looking at it much more actively. So, I mean, it's a deep subject, so I wouldn't want to waste too much time on it. But this is the way it sort of progresses, and one has to be much more pragmatic and very careful and circumspect in terms of where your money is put. Every dollar counts.
I completely agree. There's also the fact that, it's a very optimistic landscape. It's a landscape that seems very rosy right now. But there's also increasingly talk about the arrogance of the idea. The fact that a lot of people are so taken in by the seduction of the idea that they're not realizing it could fail. Do you think that's going to be a hurdle in Viksit Bharat 2047 as far as the MSME landscape is concerned?
I don't think so. Because if you see the definition of invention versus innovation, what's the difference? Worldwide, out of every 100 patents filed, about 5 to 6 are converted into commercial products. So if we actually see the definition of innovation, it is about adding value. So unless you have these 100 ideas, you will not get the 10 ideas which add value, which can be called truly innovative. So for me, failure is nothing but a stepping stone to success. I always tell my team members that anybody who has not made wrong decisions or not had failures is actually a terrible manager, because it means he has not taken decisions. So in India, we still think of failure as a failure of a person. But when we incubate startups, one of the things we tell them is that separate yourself emotionally from your business. Businesses could fail due to multiple reasons. COVID, for instance, does not mean that the startups were bad, does not mean that the ideas were bad. So people have to use failures as a stepping stone to go ahead, rather than as a setback. That's the difference which they have to have.
Professor
Indeed.
Shah, sorry.
If I
Do
just
go
to
ahead,
build
sir.
on what Mr. Jain is saying quickly, so very important point that you talked about, Mr. Jain. And I think what we discover is that two sides of the spectrum. To a certain extent, psychodynamic theory says that one has to be optimistic to start a business, because if you are not optimistic as an entrepreneur, how on earth you are going to create a difference and solve a problem, right? But that optimism often leads to blinded faith in whatever you are building, which then results into a problem later, because you are not able to adapt, you are not able to pivot. Right? This is where the line between arrogance and confidence, optimism and arrogance could get blurred. And which is where it's very important for founders and entrepreneurs to make sure that they might dream very big, but their feet have to be on earth.
Of course. Professor Shah, the importance of learning. I think one of the percolations of the discussion is the importance of learning. You think there is enough respect for learning in the new crop that's coming up, considering that you are actually with an institution full-time that has only recently gotten into the capitalistic measure, so to speak? It'd be a wonderful aspect that you could bring.
If we consider about the learning about this innovations, small innovations, and very cost-effective innovations, so we should also promote to the MSMEs to learn cutting-edge technology and the new small innovations, so that the MSME can get the most benefit for the high-quality products, and they can also introduce some good quality of new products, and they can have a huge amount of production without investing too much of money. So that kind of learning is really important factor for this MSME. Yeah.
But are you seeing the respect for that? Are you seeing people adhere to that kind of learning?
Yeah, of course, people are trying to get this.
There's also some very faddish words that keep going around that are actually very important. Sustainability, for example, climate change, which we started with. How important do you think are going to be these keywords? And are there any keywords that we're missing out in our vision for 2047 as far as MSMEs are concerned? Is there an aspect that is being ignored perchance?
No, I think sustainability is big. And sustainability, and if you take the SDGs of the United Nations, itself gives immense opportunities for MSMEs to come up. If I see the entire water landscape in India, companies doing treatment in water, wastewater treatment, there may be about 800 companies in India, out of which 725 are small and micro. So that's the level at which people are helping sustainability goals getting reached. I think the one word which we are really missing, which we have touched upon, is technology adoption. Because AI and DS and technology, we are afraid it will reduce jobs. Yes, it will reduce jobs which can be done, the processes, systems, which are routine jobs. But my own thought is that it will create as many more jobs, but they'll be intellect-led. They'll not be just the routine jobs. They'll be led by people who think, not by people who do. So the doing part can be taken care of by AI and DS, but the thinking part, in my view, will create jobs. And over the next 20 years, you will see hundreds of different categories of jobs created, which we don't even know exist today. Now that will be Viksit Bharat.
Absolutely. And if you think, absolutely right. And this is the argument that we always share with everybody, that don't be afraid of technology, embrace it, make it a friend, utilize it, be skilled, and then you will see wonders coming to your way, essentially, right? I mean, at the end of the day, and this is something that we do always at SAM Space when we are looking at AI augmented consulting interventions with the MSMEs to actually help them implement and execute, right? Imagine that entrepreneurs and the people that entrepreneurs have in their organizations are skilled to use AI and agentic AI technology at their fingertips. And imagine the productivity gain that they will have. I mean, the crystal ball gazing 2047, you would probably see perhaps fewer MSMEs, but far more, far healthier MSMEs and those who are vibrant, those who are creating output, those who are being more productive. That's the future that we should hope for.
That's already two very, very important triggers for thought. But of course, Professor Shah deals with the foundation of them all, which is numbers and mathematics. What are your views?
Only I would like to add one more thing with the, sir, because the clustering is very helpful for doing business together with other business. So it's a really good part of AI that where the MSME people, they can do business together, but they can afford to take the advantage of the more and more R&D and manufacturing. So it's a good part for using AI. Yeah.
Absolutely. We were told that a panel discussion usually is a successful one when there's enough material for others to start discussing off stage. I think technical adoption and evaluation of that technology is definitely one of those, and quality over quantity that Mr. Sathe so beautifully enunciated is another one. I think that's good food for thought for everyone to chew on, and for being such wonderful audiences, we'd like to thank you. But our heartfelt gratitude, Professor Shah, Mr. Sathe, and Mr. Jain, for being so generous with your knowledge of the field and so generously sharing it. I'm sure we can show our appreciation with a round of applause for our wonderful, wonderful panelists.
And before I introduce the next panel, which is the final panel for the evening discussions under the umbrella of funding the MSME revolution, the next panel will explore the methodical access to capital from traditional banks to venture capital, private equity, and crucial government-backed initiatives which are unlocked unprecedented growth for millions of small and medium enterprises. To carry this discussion forward, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Shalil Gupta. A huge round of applause for Mr. Gupta, Managing Director of OzoneTel, a pioneer in cloud communication and customer experience solutions. Next, can I please have Mr. Varun Singh, Founder and Managing Partner of Foresight Law Offices, a leading full-service law firm known for its client-centric and innovative approach. And finally, Mr. Manish Khurana, Founder of Innovations Venture Studio, who has impactfully driven ventures with intersecting capital, conviction, and nation building together. Now that we have all chairs that we need on stage, it's over to you, Sarthak. Thank you.
We are here also to say that because the MSME is set to become the diamond of Indian industry, so to speak, it's only proper that we also talk about the 3 C's that shape this diamond, which is capital, confidence, and clear policy support. So it'd be wonderful if you could tell us what you think about these 3 C's, starting with you, sir.
Thank you. I think it's a fantastic way to actually look at quality versus quantity. I always say no country can progress and become Viksit Bharat until MSME actually performs. I mean, top 1,000 companies, we all know about them, and they will always perform whatever the sort of scenario, economically, trade wars or GST cuts and etc. Doesn't really matters to them. But everything matters to MSME. So I would say, and I beg to differ, quality versus quantity, I would say quantity and quality, both is required for this country to progress further. It cannot happen that we reduce the number of MSMEs in the country and we can still figure out Viksit Bharat. In fact, we have to double the MSME as quantity as well, guys. So I'm sorry for little change there, but it is very important. Second, there is not a lot of innovations being done in MSME, whether through policy, whether through capital requirements, and so. 70% is still struggling for working capital. 70% of SMEs, working capital. And alternative capital is only 5% available for them. So now you can imagine the huge gap which has been created today in the industry. So confidence we need to build, as I said. Another 2 C's you said?
Capital.
Capital, I said innovation has to be done there.
And clear policy support.
I think policy we would need to rethink and re-architect ourselves from a policy perspective.
I can clearly see the gears churning in the lawyer's mind as soon as policy was. But Manish has something.
So I want to pick up from where Shalil spoke about innovation. So I want to give you a Sanskrit quote. It says, Navonmeshaha Rashtrasya Balam, which says innovation is the strength of a country. And I completely agree with what Shalil just spoke. And I was hearing that earlier in the previous panel also. Sateji was saying, Jain Sahab was saying. Innovation, obviously, you have to kind of inculcate innovation along with the MSME current MSME structure. I think that is something which will fetch you more, the capital which you're talking about. It will increase the confidence in the promoter. And for the confidence in the promoter, I'll give you 5 I's. You spoke about 3 C's. I'll give you 5 I's. Okay. One, first thing which we look at is the intent. So if the founder has got a right intent, he wants to solve a problem, wants to kind of create something which is going to exist for long, we are there. Second, integrity. So me and Shalil, when we were sitting downstairs, we were just talking about this, like integrity should never be compromised. And I think when there is exactly where Varun also chips in, being a lawyer. So integrity and intent of a founder, be it MSME, be it a startup, be it anything, that matters a lot. So next, I think, आपको 3 I और follow करने पड़ेंगे. इंसानियत, इनायत, इबादत.
क्या बात है?
So इंसानियत is like a seed. Inayat is like a flower which is blooming. And ibadat is like the fragrance. आप इन तीनों को अगर करके लेके जाओगे, फंड आराम से मिलेगा, कैपिटल की प्रॉब्लम खत्म, कॉन्फिडेंस की प्रॉब्लम खत्म. आप तीसरा क्या कह रहे थे? You were talking about clear policies तो आ रही हैं सर, लास्ट 10 सालों में हुआ है ना. We are seeing lot of mental shift among the family offices, among the VCs, among the private equity players, because the kind of investments which used to have back in 2016, the portfolio used to comprise of 80, 85, 90% of listed equities. That has moved down, moved to a 30, 40% of unlisted holdings which are lying in the current portfolios. तो बहुत बड़ा shift है, policies आई हैं. I think intent integrity में compromise नहीं है, पैसा आएगा. That's it.
In pursuant with utterances heretofore, lawyers up.
Thank you, thank you. In fact, you know, some of the points which have been picked up by all the panelists right now, or in fact what has been suggested before also, I have a very interesting fact. Like Sir said when you asked the previous panelists that one thing that you must do to ensure that you keep floating, so he said that you must ensure that all your obligations are taken care of. Can you make a wild guess of what is the number of obligations an MSME in India has to currently go through? Any amount of guesses. Anyone can guess, in fact, they want to.
Anyone want to throw a number? Go for it.
Okay.
One number.
So Sir saying 50, the actual number is more than 1,400. There are 1,400 plus obligations which an MSME as on date has to fulfill to run its show.
These I'm assuming are compliances,
Compliances, whether it be labor laws, if you have a company, the company filings, if you have, you know, GST, the GST related problems that you face. So it's a huge bottleneck for any, and the cost of operations for these 1,400 plus compliances on an average, and this is an article which is recently covers, is more than 13 to 15 lakh. So if you're looking for an MSME, and a threshold for an MSME as explained is something like 40 lakh rupees, and if you're expecting that company to bear a cost of 15 lakh rupees as to just run operations, then how is he going to survive?
Shalil sir, did I see a look of pain pass through your face on that? How could I have expected a lawyer not to do a deep dive? And finally, Shalil sir.
I think MSME is both the lions of the country and the elephant of the country. And believe me, guys, we have seen elephant dancing, and we can do it.
As long as the animal spirits are invoked, I think that is what we're looking for in the future. Viksit Bharat 2047, we're talking funding. Yeah, one F word that we can use with a smile on our faces. But Shalil, Varun and Manish, thank you very much for being so open and so involved. And of course, there's one thing that I must underline, the fact that all our esteemed panelists have been listening so intently to each other that the points have actually telescoped and coalesced together, which as people associate with the building of this discussion, it gives us great hope and gives us great joy as well. Could we have a huge round of applause for our panelists?
Thank you, everybody.
Photographers happy? Can we get a group picture with everyone? Thank you so much. This is a special evening. The Bharat Nirman Conclave and Awards is about celebrating those very champions, our MSMEs, who may not always make to the headlines, but without whom India's growth story would be incomplete. We want to move on to our first set of awards, and to present these, we have someone very, very special. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Anup Soni, who's here with us today. A spectacular actor, he started his journey with theatre and is a household name, of course. Can we please have his AV?
The award for Woman Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Durga Das. The award for Leaders in Paints and Plasters Products goes to Dr. Ashok Gupta. The award for Best Medical Excellence and Philanthropist Award 2025 goes to Mrs. Ramya Ramachandran. The award for Data-Driven Business Transformation goes to Rohit Sanam Venkata. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year, Gems and Jewelry Export goes to Nitin Jain. The award for Best MSME in Innovation, R&D and Digital Transformation goes to Samrat Tiwari. The award for Best MSME in Innovation, R&D and Digital Transformation goes to Vivekananda Reddy Chintakuntla. The award for Best Performance Marketing Agency of the Year in Marketing and Technology goes to Falak Kabrawala. The award for Best Startup Media Platform in Media and Publications Startup goes to Mr. Abhishek Mall and Mr. Aman Raj. For lifetime contribution to pediatric orthopedics and joint care goes to Dr. Neeraj Gupta and Dr. Garima Bansal. The award for Pillars of Viksit Bharat goes to Nitin Kaushal and Chakradhar Gade. The award for Change Maker of the Year goes to Mohit Gauri, Sumit Chaudhary and Kapil Chugh. Recognizing innovation that powers a sustainable future, the award for Best MSME in Innovation and R&D in Critical Mineral Recycling is proudly presented to Mr. Harry Bajaj.
I'd like to call on stage Mr. Sharad Bhattatripad, the content head for Fever FM, and Ms. Sonia Kundanani, co-founder Newsreach. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Anup Soni? This is going to be a single take show now. Ma'am, can you... Thank you so much. To invite on stage Shri Sanjay Seth, our Honorable Minister of State for Defense. A huge round of applause for him. Sir has been here for some time, and it means so much that you are here to encourage us and to support all those who are contributing to India's growth. A dedicated leader with remarkable service in governance and nation building, his presence today truly inspires all of us. Let's welcome him a huge round of applause.
Shri Sanjay Seth, a distinguished leader in public service, is currently serving as the Minister of State for Defense since June 2024. His parliamentary contributions include serving as a member of the Committee on Subordinate Legislation, the Standing Committee on Communications and Information Technology, and the Committee on Welfare of Other Backward Classes, reflecting his steadfast commitment to governance and nation building.
I'd now like to invite on stage Dr. Josen Ranjit, author Mr. Samir Sathe, founder and CEO of Sam Space, team of Madhav Immigration, and Mr. Rohit Kalra, CFO, Fever FM, to kindly come up on stage to felicitate our Honorable Minister. Ma'am, I'd request you to please step forward with the tray. I hope our professional photographers have got their perfect vantage position. There are lots of people clicking pictures. But guys, you can do that. I also want to tell you we are being telecast live on Indiavoice satellite TV. So that's another reason to smile.
The award for AI innovation in CX goes to Ozone Tel. Towards Ops Sindoor goes to Dr. Karthik Narayanan. The award for CX Excellence, Education and Skilling goes to Adda 24/7.
The
Entrepreneur of the Year is awarded to Sahil Luthra. The award for Best MSME in Employation and Skill Development goes to Ravi Narayan Nayak and Shravani Nayak. The award for MSME Enabler of the Year goes to Ayush Kumar. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Pratik Kakadia. The award for Pillars of Viksit Bharat goes to
Thank you for
Muhammad
completing my
Bilal.
sentence.
The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Rohit Kumar Singh. The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Vinod Singh. The award for Global Indian MSME of the Year goes to Venkatasai Vamsi P. The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Vinay Singh. The award for Global Indian MSME of the Year goes to Bharat Chajed. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Deepak Goswami. The award for Best MSME in Innovation, R&D and Digital Transformation goes to Vignesh Iyer and Chandni Niranjan. The award for Best Travel eSIM of the Year goes to Amit Agarwal. The award for Best MSME in Employment Creation and Skill Development goes to Rohit Sharma. The award for MSME Enabler of the Year goes to Samir Sathe. The award for Inspiring Youth Author of the Year goes to a writer whose words ignite ambition, reflection, and courage in the minds of a new generation. Congratulations to Josan Ranjit. The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Ritu Insan. The award for Woman-Led MSME of the Year goes to Dr. Shraddha Malik. The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Amit Budania. The award for Global Indian MSME of the Year goes to Mr. Devang Shah. The award for Best MSME in Innovation, R&D and Digital Transformation goes to Mr. Raman Agarwal and Ms. Mansi Omar. The award for Emerging Leader in Social Welfare goes to Harsh Kedia. The award for Best MSME Technology goes to Chandrabhan Yadav.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's invite on stage the recipient of the Real Estate Developer of the Year Award, Siddharth Katyal, CEO of Bhumika Realty. Mr. Siddharth Katyal, everyone. Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Water and Waste Management Sector. The award goes to Mr. Arun Kumar Tiwari. India's Top Exporter of the Year Award, which goes to Mr. Manish Jaisansaria. For Best MSME of the Year, Mining and Natural Resources. And the award goes to Mr. Viju Jain. May I please request Mr. Prem Sagar Tiwari, Chairman, Indiavoice TV, to please come up on stage.
Actor is defined by their illustrious body of work and the defining variations in their filmography. Nikita Datta's remarkable screen presence, grace, and depth undoubtedly made an everlasting space in the hearts of the audiences. Be it Jewel Thief, Kabir Singh, or Khaki, the Bihar chapter, she has uniquely carved her own creative identity that has left a lasting impression, which is nothing short of inspiring. Welcoming the immensely talented Nikita Datta.
That's Ms. Sonia Kundanani, co-founder Newsreach, and Mr. Rohit Kalra, CRO Fever FM. Thank you, thank you.
The award for Global Indian MSME of the Year goes to Dr. Vijay Kumar Agarwal. The award for Women-Led MSME of the Year goes to Aarti Neelam. The award for Excellence in Leadership in the Food Processing and FMCG sector goes to Navansh Mitta. The award for Pillar of Viksit Bharat goes to Rashi Cheda Shah. The award award for India's #1 marketing and advertising agency goes to Vishal Keshav Kamble. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Dr. Deepak Gupta. The award for Women-led MSME of the Year goes to Anubhuti Gupta. The award for Best MSME in Innovation, R&D and Digital Transformation goes to Akshata Mahesh. The award for MSME Enabler of the Year, Clusters Incubators Associations goes to Pragya Singh. The award for Excellence in Technical and Management Education goes to Dr. Nand Kishore Garg and Shri Vineet Lohia. The award for Pillars of Viksit Bharat, Infrastructure and Services goes to Pioneer Engineering. The award for Service Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Dhaval Patel.
It's time to welcome the critically acclaimed actor, Mr. Adil Hussain, known for his remarkable range and unforgettable performances. Movie stalwart who deserves a huge round of applause. Can we please have Mr. Adil Hussain on stage?
Adil Hussain is an actor whose mastery of subtlety and depth makes his performances resonate far beyond the screen. From touching our hearts in English Vinglish to bringing wisdom and grace in Life of Pi and winning the National Film Award Special Jury Mention for his unforgettable role in Mukti Bhavan. He stands as one of the finest craftsmen of Indian cinema. His talent has also found global recognition, starring in Star Trek Discovery and in the acclaimed Norwegian film What Will People Say, for which he won the Norwegian National Award for Best Actor in 2018. We welcome Adil Hussain.
Thank you so much for being here, Adil. And to felicitate Adil Hussain, may I please have on stage Mr. Amit Madan, CFO, Fever FM, and Ms. Sonia Kundanani, co-founder, Newsreach.
The award for Entrepreneur of the Year, Ad Tech and Digital Marketing Sector goes to Hiren Shah. The award for MSME Enabler of the Year goes to Komal Gupta. The award for MSME Enabler of the Year goes to Gautam Kohli. The award for Woman-led MSME of the Year, Social Service, goes to Purvi Trivedi. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Rupesh Mishra. The award for Best Emerging Company in Battery Energy Storage goes to Mr. Sudhir Jindal. The award for Entrepreneur of the Year goes to Sayyad Sadat. The award for Best MSME of the Year, Electronics, goes to Mr. Amit Saraf. The award for Global Emerging Fashion Leader goes to Akhilesh Pawar. The award for Emerging Startups of the Year goes to Manish Kumar. The award for Best MSME of the Year goes to Muhammad Saqib Khan. The award for CX Excellence Healthcare goes to Healthians.
For Entrepreneur of the Year, Water and Waste Management Sector, can we please have Mr. Arun Kumar Tiwari on stage? Please join me in welcoming Mr. Manish Jaisansaria, who takes the honor for India's top exporter of the year. VKC Nuts Private Limited, Mr. Gunjan Vijay and Vishakha Jain, Managing Director, Pillars of Viksit Bharat, Excellence in Food Processing. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, you've been an amazing audience. And yes, today, the evening, with discussions earlier in the day at the Conclave, and then recognizing the efforts of all those who are helping build this nation with the awards ceremony. I think if there's one takeaway, it is that we must celebrate those who are doing amazing work and also get inspired. Hoping to see you next year. Thank you so much. This is Tuti signing off, and we're leaving you hopefully literally and metaphorically with high spirits. Enjoy the evening.